If no one knows your brand exists, it doesn't matter how good your product is. And if you're someone who's starting off your business from scratch, you know very well that advertising is extremely expensive and it is very hard to get your name out without having a massive budget. So in today's video, we are going to be breaking down exactly how you can get your brand name out there without looking desperate. And I'm going to be breaking down exactly what I do with my own personal brand, Asfaan, from the clothes I wear to the conversations I have with people, because the goal is not to look desperate. The goal is to make people familiar with your brand before they're ready to be sold to. When you're building a new brand, not everything has to be a hard sell. Sometimes a t-shirt is a signal, a conversation is a signal, your workplace is a signal, your content is a signal. And when people see these signals again and again, the brand starts becoming familiar. This t-shirt is one such example. I recently sat and designed an Asfaan t-shirt, not because I wanted to sell it, not because I wanted to get into the clothing space, but because I wanted to create a small daily reminder that the brand actually exists. I wanted people to notice it when I wear it in my videos, something that I can wear outside when I go out in public, something which can be a conversational starter. And that is the point. This is not about the t-shirt. This is about how a founder can make his brand visible in his daily life. I know it is a very small thing, but even small things matter. Think of it this way. When your friend meets you the next time, he's going to be like, oh, isn't that the t-shirt from your brand?
So I just came near my friend's home to see what his reaction is going to be.
Fair enough. Nice. Recording.
In fact, it has come to a point where some of my friends like the t-shirt design so much that they're like, you know what, I will support you. I will buy this merch from you. You can order one extra for me and I will wear it. And I'll also talk about it when I meet other people. And I'm like, okay, this is such a wonderful thing. So every small thing which you think may not make a difference might be the game changer which you need for your brand. So do not ignore it because you do not know how this thing will go. And testing each and every theory is what will make you a better businessman in the beginning because you still don't know what is working for your brand. So this is going to be the basic framework, the 5 steps which you need to take care of when you are trying to get people to notice your brand without selling to them. Now the first thing would be, is what we are currently doing, is to wear it subtly. Now take it from a fashion student. The thing is, fashion is a pendulum swing. It goes up and down, it goes from tight to loose. So don't try to get like super creative in the beginning. If you're trying to make like a brand name, just get something simple like this, a black or a white t-shirt, don't play with too many colors. That is classic and just get a label printed. Now if your brand is of a certain color, let's say you have a purple theme with your brand logo and all that, use purple, whatever it is. Keep it very simple, no major designs, because you're not trying to sell much, you're just trying to wear it and make something which is very comfortable. In my case, I got this in Suprema cotton. So this is like the top 1% cotton available in the world apparently. It's very comfortable to be fair. I would wear it outside too. So that is why I got it tailored exactly to my size. But that is what I recommend as a fashion student. Keep it very minimal. It looks very aesthetic too. And keep it with white or black because these are classics even in the fashion industry. Now the next one will be talking about it naturally being the underlying statement. Now one thing I've understood from reading a lot of public speaking books is that conversation in general doesn't have to be forced. If you give too much information without being asked for it, you lose any weightage at all. So a little bit of control is very necessary. Now for example, whenever someone asks me how is my brand doing, I don't forcefully give them the entire storyline. I'll just tell them I'm building a fragrance brand in India. Now, automatically that makes people want to ask more questions. Like, why am I doing it in India? What is my source saying? That automatically brings up the brand touch points up. And now I can accordingly maneuver the conversation based on how and what kind of person I'm dealing with. So that if that's a potential investor, I would give them a very different story. If it's someone who I want to make a purchase, I'll give them a very different story. So that is how you can shape the conversation. So bringing it up naturally, not forcing the story from your side would be the way to go. Now this is the third and the most important step, is building an environment. Yesterday I was talking to a lawyer who was practicing in the High Court and now he has moved into his home so that he can practice from there. because he wants to run his own private office later. And he was telling me how he's struggling to differentiate between his home environment and office because it's very difficult to get up from the bed and sit on the same study table and then again eat there because he's living in a small space. And he was complaining about how he should probably get an office soon because it is very hard to get that mental break, you know. So building an environment is very important. One thing I'd say, for example, if you get an office, you can get like your books, you can get your planners sorted out, and you can have all of this. In my case, it's a product-based business, so I have all my perfumes on display here. These are samples not for sale unless you know me personally. I'm not selling this because I've already made the money I had to make on it. Now it's just for display, otherwise that rack will look empty. But if someone's interested, they can still DM me. If you're close by, I'll come drop it off myself. But yeah, this is an environment. So whenever I step into this room, I feel like, you know what, this is a serious thing and I'm here to work. So I automatically pull up my laptop, and even if nothing's going on for that day, I at least journal and I set the things in order for the next day. Because in the beginning, there's a lot more time and a lot of thinking to be done. And then there are moments where you're like super busy. Then again, it is on the hands of the suppliers and the consumers and all that. So because of that, your waiting time increases, so you're free. So in that case, if you have an office, you'll still be locked in. Now the fourth step is repeating it regularly. Repeating it regularly is very important so that people get familiar to your brand. Now let's say, for example, your brand is named after you as a person. It is very hard for people to accept it initially unless it's constantly repeated. Now, for example, if they see the name of my t-shirt on my story, and then they again see a video about it, and then they again see an ad about it, and then when finally the brand launches, they see the product with the name on it, then they'll be more willing to accept that because then they'll become familiar with the identity of the name with the brand. This is very true when it comes to Indian context because India is a very trust-based business environment, and people will not be willing to purchase from a new brand unless they feel, you know what, this is a legitimate brand. So if you're not familiar to them, they will not purchase from you. So your first ad may not be successful. Maybe your 10th ad might be the ad which makes that one person purchase your brand. So if they're constantly seeing your ads is when they will purchase your products. This is what YouTube retargeting or ad retargeting is. In digital marketing, this is a concept which you will learn. That is, you will constantly retarget the same kind of people again and again and again till they finally familiarize themselves with your brand and then they make that purchase. This happens, for example, let's say you come across a new brand. You see it, you open their profile, then you leave. Then 6 days later, you start seeing those ads. But if you had not opened their profile, you would have never seen those ads. That is how retargeting works. That is why email marketing is such a big success because they constantly keep looping back to you eventually till you make the sale. So that is why repeating it regularly is very much important. Now coming back to the fifth and the final thing, which is very important because it is related to repeating it regularly, is not to force it. Now, when I say not to force it, I mean you should not constantly annoy people with the ads. If someone is, let's say, your friend, and you're constantly always posting stories about your brand or your what you're doing in the background, eventually after a point, it doesn't matter. No matter who you are, no matter what celebrity you are, no matter what song it is, anything for that matter gets boring after a point. So if it comes up once in a while, it is fine. Now, this is contradictory to this, yes, but that only works because this is based on doing it subtly. You have to repeat regularly, but your intervals doesn't have to be every day. It just has to be in the space where it is just enough. So you have to figure out what that is in your case. Your gut will eventually develop to understand when that is working. For example, you'll notice your impressions fall, people not taking enough interest, your likes falling in your posts, your people not getting comments on your post. That is when you have a cue to slow down a little bit, then come back with something new, with a new hook, maybe with a new style. So that is when you will come back and you will still keep repeating regularly. You will do it in different ways. Now, for example, t-shirt is my new way. Then I have something else planned. So similarly, you will do it regularly, but you will also do it in very different ways. And you will not spam and get annoying because then people will not want to purchase from you. So anyway, that is it for my video. One founder lesson which I would give while we are ending this video is, a lot of people have told me, why are you talking about your brand? Keep it low key till you actually launch, and then you can start marketing heavy. So all of this is BS advice. All of these people have not done business, and I would say a lot of people are romanticizing this idea that I will hide behind, I will disappear, then I'll come back winning strong, and I will come back swinging, and then everyone will know how great I am. That is the kind of bullshit which is seen on reels, where people have transformation, and that works very well if you're doing, let's say, something like bodybuilding. But if you're trying to build a brand, if you're trying to be a businessman, you cannot hide, because people are not stupid when they say things like "जो दिखता है वो बिकता है." You need anticipation. You need people to know that you are in this space, and you need to be subtle about it. You don't have to be loud, but you still have to be known. You cannot hide behind people. You cannot hide behind the idea that I will come back with the marketing team, or I'll come back and then I'll show them. You cannot do that. If you're not comfortable, don't do it on your social media page. Do it, build a new social media, don't share it with anyone, but you still have to keep talking about it. So it is very much important that you actually do this process correctly. You build that anticipation, and you're constantly putting yourself out there. Make your mistakes, learn what you have to, and then come back strong, because we are young business entrepreneurs. We do not have to have all the answers right now, but we will learn it. So I'm doing it. I'm documenting it for the ease of you guys. And if you are in the same boat, then you can subscribe to my channel and see how we are going to get this brand to be a big brand someday, inshallah. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.